So in my life, I've written a lot of songs and had music just flow through me. I've had so much inspiration and so many songs come through me.
Would you say you're on the high-flying disc when the inspiration comes?
Almost always.
Yeah.
They're all songs of love, and
Right.
a lot of them are love and appreciation songs. And for a long time, I thought that was my gift and my thing that I wanted to share. And I kept bumping up against this thing where I felt like maybe it wasn't enough, or I should be doing something more. That music wasn't, it's like it wasn't such a big deal. I know that there's joy in music, but listening to you and listening to learning and going through these processes, I felt like sharing this kind of work with people or helping people understand this better would be more useful or more valuable. And I sort of stopped having the inspiration to write songs for a few years, and I haven't really gotten back into that. But whenever I do sing, I love it, I feel great, but my inspiration what I end up doing mostly is like Abraham stuff and learning and processing and figuring out what works and getting into the details of it and talking with people about it and doing little things with people about it and starting to potentially build a business in that direction. What I'm wondering is, have I kind of just stepped off my high-flying disc because I've been doing a bit too much processing and too much mental focus, and that's why the songs aren't coming, and then I'm just following this path because it's been what I've been focusing on? Or have I really found a new path, and I'm not sure. I keep going back and forth.
You can tell by the way you feel. So the music called you, and so that's the path. And now something other or more is calling, and that's the path. It's really helpful to say about anything or anyone, you were there when I needed you, isn't the perfect terminology, but you were the evidence of the alignment that I had accomplished to that point. The thing that we like so much about the phase when you were really involved in the music is that it showed you firsthand so much more than words could ever teach you, what it feels like to be in alignment, and then what happens. You showed yourself what the feeling of alignment really feels like. And that's why we asked the question, do you believe you were on your high-flying disc when that was coming? Because people write music from all kinds of discs, and audiences that are practicing different vibrational wavelengths are drawn to different music that has been written by different artists who have been on different discs. In other words, it's really a wonderful, perfect matchup that law of attraction does with all of that. But there isn't anything that any of you have meant to do forever, because your path is eternally evolving. That's why the relationship issue especially is one that's an interesting subject, because humans, you are so end-oriented, and so let me get it right first crack out of the box oriented, and we want you to be more open-ended oriented. We want you to be more I'm on an eternal path oriented. And so we would like you to feel, well, I don't know what I'm going to be doing later, but for now this is what's satisfying me the most, and so as long as this is what's satisfying me the most, this is what I'm going to be doing. Yep. And I'm certain that something else will evolve. I'll always be called to something more, but every path is continuing to unfold. So you were source energy before you came into this physical body. So not finished, source energy, unfinished. And what is evidence of the unfinishedness of source? You were born into physical. Now that surprises people when we say that. How can physical birth, physical reality, how can that physical time-space reality be an extension of source energy? I thought source energy was all finished. No, source will never be finished. Nothing is ever done. So you are an extension of source here, exploring the contrast. And out of that comes new decisions of what you want, which source becomes because of your exploration, you see. And then as you recognize the vibrational variance between what you have helped source become and what you're doing right now, and so you soothe that negative emotion by laying some new pipes, by thinking new thoughts, by letting some old pipes become more dormant by your attention to other things. Then you come into alignment with that newfound resonance, and now you're standing in a new place with a new set of contrasting experiences that starts the whole process all over again. So when you realize that it is never ending and you are enjoying the journey of it, then you stop first of all, nitpicking in the middle of things, and there are two really important things in your life. You've talked about them both today, and you're second guessing yourself on both of them. And we think that what's at the heart of that, and we really appreciate this conversation because you represent almost every other person on the planet as well, is that you are not, let's just take a minute and we won't keep it to ourselves long. We want to just savor it a little bit. We want you to enjoy the contrasting moments as much as the getting on the high-flying disc moments, because they are all part of the expansion process. And when you do that, when you stop questioning the dips and start calling them clarifying rather than dips, when you no longer beat upon yourself for your confusion or for your contradictory thought, and instead are appreciating the clarity that is born from it, now you're standing in a now that's rich right now, but isn't finished right now, and you're not longing for some future event in order to fill the void, because there isn't a void now, because you're satisfied in your now and eager for more. Does that make sense to you? Satisfied in your now and eager for more. So yeah, you're on your path, and the path will keep evolving and changing, and it won't stand still at all. There's always something more for you to discover. And what we're really wanting to emphasize in these particular hours, because it's right where this message is expanding to, we want you to embrace your now and care about how you feel, and let law of attraction take care of the details. Can you do that? Abraham, I thought this was a seminar on deliberate creation, and I've set some goals, and I've scripted some things, and I have some plans, and now you're telling me to just sort of not put too much attention upon any of those plans and just get on my high-flying disc. And we say, yes, let that be your singular goal. I'm going to get on the high-flying disc. So you do it, and you do it, and you do it, and you do it, and you align, and you align, and you align, and then you're insightful, and you're inspired, and you're co-creating, and you're thrilled, and people who are watching you are seeing your world from their perspective just magically unfolding, and they want to know, what are you doing? Are you setting goals? Just one. I want to get on my high-flying disc. I'm getting on my high-flying disc. Well, give me more. Well, I'm on my high-flying disc. Well, why? Because it feels really good. Well, where is it? It's anywhere that I feel really good. Well, then what? I don't know. I don't know what's coming next. Well, you don't seem to be very sure of what you're doing. I'm just sure of one thing. I'm going to get on the high-flying disc. Now, if they really press you and want to know, you could say, well, you see, it's like this. I was source energy before I came into this physical body, and I came into this physical body, and I sifted through the contrast, and I launched all kinds of rockets, and I put all kinds of things in my vortex, and my vortex has been spinning around, and law of attraction has been gathering all those cooperative components. There's all kinds of things that I've evolved to that I haven't allowed myself to be until I learned about my high-flying disc. And when I learned about my point of attraction, and I learned that I could control the way I feel, and I learned that I could wake up in the morning, and I could reach for a good feeling thought, and I stopped psychoanalyzing everything. I stopped worrying about so many things. I stopped trying to make everything perfect in every moment. I just got as best as I could on my high-flying disc, and then I just let the day unfold, and then I just took note at the end of the day. Was I mostly on my high-flying disc? Well, yeah, I was mostly on my high-flying disc, but mostly just till breakfast, and then things didn't go so well after that. So tomorrow I'm going to get on my high-flying disc, and then every day I did a better job of getting on my high-flying disc, and I maintained it longer and longer, and then the evidence of being there started to support it until I just got this synergy going where I began to believe in my power to focus on good feeling things, and then I began just mostly focusing on good feeling things, and so I stopped talking about a lot of things that I used to talk about, because I wasn't willing to jeopardize or sacrifice the only thing that I knew for sure I wanted, which was to get on my high-flying disc. Seriously, dude, this is the only goal you've got? Just to be on the high-flying disc? Just being on the high-flying disc is all? You sound like things that we all tried to get rid of in the 60s. In other words, you really just want to be on the high-flying disc? I want to maintain a vibrational frequency with who I really am so that I can experience the manifestational evidence of being in perfect alignment with all that I have become. I don't get that. That's why I told you I just want to be on the high-flying disc. I just want to be on the high-flying disc. I just want to be on the high-flying disc.